Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Maria and this is Mosaic Maria. And I apologize for the lighting. This is the best I'm going to get right now. I'm in between two windows to try to get better light. So I thought I would just come and share a quick pattern, a quick crochet pattern. It's a nice rainy day, a good day to be knitting or crocheting, right? So let's see if I can get the light right. So this is a really sweet dishcloth that I'm in the process of making. And I'm going to go ahead and give credit to where credit is due. I love the texture in this. It kind of looks like a moss stitch. It also looks like an asymmetrical shell stitch, and I'm trying to think of what else, and kind of like a Suzette stitch. It's none of those things. It's it's a really cool pattern that a gal named MJ made, and she has a channel out here called MJ Off the Hook Crochet and a blog. And I happened upon pictures. I was looking up dishcloths today. And around this time of year, I like to get into my stash yarn, order a little bit of a few more yarns, but bust up my stash cotton and make dishcloths. And especially before Mother's Day, because they're, all of your female friends and just birthdays, spring things, all kinds of things. You can give these to people and they just come in really handy, and you can just fold them up like little, uh, really sweet, like little um, gifty things, and put them in a um, basket or little. This lighting is bad. I'm sorry. Yeah, you can just put a little twine around them or a ribbon or whatever. And the colors that MJ used are salt and pepper for the main body, for the main color, salt and pepper, Handicrafter Bernay big ball, and out of that big ball of main yarn, she was able to get 6 washcloths that are 10 by 10 inches. I'm not done with the border yet of mine. You can also use Dishy by Knit Pick is what she suggested, and Twister, um, which is another nice one. And I'm using Peaches and Cream and Lily Sugar, which is 100% cotton. They're just smaller balls. 4 medium worsted weight yarn, a 5x5 crochet hook, and I believe it's 12 and a half stitches. I'll leave you all the linkage for the pattern. For the gauge, I didn't even have to do the gauge, and mine turned out perfect with Peaches and Cream little 1 ounce balls of yarn. This is called Mermaid, and that's what I'm using. And that's what it looks like. And I'm doing my border with, I don't have the ball band for this one. I think it was called Sea Green. And it's actually a color that's already in here a little bit. Where is it? No, it's not in here. It's right around here. It kind of vibrates out. So I'm using a lighter color for my border, but you could use any, you could go dark, light, white, whatever you want to do. Or you could just single crochet around with the color you have, or make a few shell stitches, do whatever you want. But I'm doing the border that she said. And this is the other color that I'm using, which is more for my kitchen. This one's a bathroom one. I have a lot of greens and blues and these colors in my bathroom, and grays. So this is perfect. I love dishcloths to give as gifts just because they're so much better than the non-disposable Clorox handy wipes, Mr. Clean, Dawn, Dollar Tree, all those Dollar General, all those advanced, different cloths that you get maybe 6 or 9 or 12 in a bunch, and after you wash a few things, they stink and you can't really wring them out good and you can't really wash them good and you just gotta throw them away and start over. So I say bust up your yarn and make some really pretty washcloths. I don't know anybody that doesn't like these, men included, in their bath and shower. These are so comfy. Spa cloths. You can make whole towels if you find the right uh, texture pattern that you like. I usually go with a ripple, something like a puff stitch or a bobble stitch or a there's bobble, there's puff, there's 2 or 3 different kinds of puff. There's like a 5 loop puff and a 7 loop puff and an 11 loop puff. And then I think, what's it called? Oh, the bumblebee and popcorn stitch. Those are really cool because they give you the texture and roughage you need to really clean something, and they're durable. Use up a little more yarn, but they're good. But this one achieved it with it. I have this much yarn left. So one ounce, 1.5 ounce ball of yarn gives you one. But out of the Bernay Handicrafter big ball, I ordered it. I'm waiting 10 more days. I ordered the colors she used, which are salt and pepper in the middle and sky on the borders because I love the combination. This pattern is called, I believe, Fresh Farm. And I love it. I love it for kitchen. I love it for bathroom. It's just going to work out beautiful. So I thought I would just share it and tell you. You can go, I can't tell you the pattern, but I can tell you to go to her pattern, and I think she has her own blog, and then she has a PDF which is free of like ads and things like that. It's a nice clean PDF with all the pictures and everything on it for paid. But if you go to, she has a video of how to, where she shows you how to do it and everything. So she said you can gift them, you can sell them, you can do all that. She tells you how to fold them if you want to gift them. And I just think it is the coolest pattern. There is a wrong side. You're looking at it. This is the wrong side. And then there is a right side. Not much of a difference, but there is. So you basically are just doing a 2-row repeat all the way through this, and then you're doing a setup foundation row for your border, which is just 3 rows. And I can't tell you the pattern, but I can tell you, if you know how to single crochet, if you know how to double crochet, and if you know how to work into the back loop and chain, and fasten off and slip stitch, you can do it. It's really easy. I remember one time I met a gal who I was knitting a whole lot of stuff, and she was constantly complimenting me on knitting and crocheting. And I really jumped back into crocheting and knitting after years and years of not. And when I did, I just couldn't put it down. I was like, I just love doing this, and I'm going to keep doing it. And I was just producing a lot all at once, and a lot of mishaps, but a lot of cool stuff too. And she just kept complimenting me and saying she wished she could knit and crochet. And I was like, you can. And she said, no, all she did was dishcloths. I thought, what do you mean all you do is dishcloths? If you can do a dishcloth, you can do anything. And you can, because you learn so many great stitches with dishcloths. And you really do get to explore a lot of different patterns in a dishcloth, and all the basic things like joining your yarn, adding yarn, working with different colors, all those textured stitches, they're all in there. And I encouraged her to, like I said, one day we were talking and she said, no, that's all I do. And I said, if you do one dishcloth and you make it wider and bigger, and you just make 2 squares, and then you do 2 long rectangles. I was like, do you realize if you do a big dishcloth and another big dishcloth and you put them together, you have the beginning of a sweater? And if you do a dishcloth and you keep going, you have a blanket and you have a pillowcase. I just kept going on. And finally she was like, okay. She started doing more. So yeah, you can do a lot from a dishcloth. As long as you know how to sew things together, right? I said, yeah, all you got to do is little pockets, little sleeves, and sew them together. You got a cardigan or a sweater. So anyways, this is a really cool pattern. So what I wanted to talk about today really quickly is my thoughts about Israel and the horrible atrocity that happened to the World Central Kitchen and Chef Andreas' beautiful organization and the workers. I believe in my heart that Israel targeted them because they saw a Palestinian driver. And I just believe that that had something to do with it. And I wish that the leaders of Israel would be honest about that. Now, I want to talk just a moment. I usually don't talk about politics and spiritual things or religion or the Bible. There are a lot of born again believing Christians, of which I am one, who are like super fundy, and I'm not super fundy. I'm not super right wing. I'm just a believer in Jesus Christ, Yahweh, and God, and the Bible. Okay. But I believe you gotta rightly understand the Bible, and there's a lot of people that are hanging their hats on true believers, true Christians will stand with Israel. And if we turn our back on Israel, well, we're just doomed. And really, they're operating out of fear. They're operating out of superstition and a whole lot of heebie-jeebie vibes and fear. Okay. So God never said in the Bible that if you were a true believer, you had to prove it by standing with everything Israel did. There is a lot of prophecy in the Bible, a lot, and a lot of mandates, and a lot of talk about Israel. God speaks about the covenants in Israel, that he made with Israel. God speaks about Israel being mine, his. God speaks about a chosen people and them having his heart. And he talks about a people that are persecuted. And he talks about in the end days that his son will return to Jerusalem. And the believers that are left will have a big job in being there. The whole world will see when the Lord returns. But the believers will have a job to do, to work with the people that are freaking out. All right. I don't know really. So I'm not sure about that, but they'll have something to do. So I just joined. I made it around one corner. So there's a mandate that believers, there's a lot of prophecy and promises, covenant, like follow the Lord's commands. And then stand by Israel, support Israel, befriend Israel, help Israel. But nowhere does it say that we must prove we're born again Christians and true believers of God by standing by everything a leader in Israel does. Because there could be a leader in Israel that goes rogue and just does whatever they want. And that would be really wrong of us to not correct that. So in this situation, the way I look at it is in all of wartime, but especially in modern wartime, there's more communication than ever. So if mission workers, Red Cross workers, Doctors Without Borders, World Central Kitchen are in these devastated areas giving help, they put out an itinerary and they say, we're going this way and we're traveling this road, and don't shoot, don't strike, don't drone, don't do anything because we're going to be going down that road at this time. So during the night, the workers, who I call earthen angels at this point, set out to make it to their next stop to serve. And drones have night vision. They can see exactly what they're looking for. And they knew what they saw. And the driver was the one Palestinian young man, 26 years old. The rest of the workers were British. 3 were British. 1 was American Canadian, I believe. Another man was Polish. They saw, and I believe they really did, drone in, like zoom in and attack what they thought was Palestinians. I don't understand the Hamas. I don't understand. What I do understand is they come from oppression. They come from an ideology and a belief of, this is our land. You took it from us. We are the chosen people. We were here first. Our God is the God of this land. And that goes all the way back in the Middle East to the Garden of Eden. It goes all the way back to Isaac, the Abrahamic law. It goes all the way back to Abraham, Isaac, all of them. It goes back to who's your daddy and who's the favorite. And it's going to go on forever till the end of time. But God tells us he has a chosen people, an adopted people, and that they have his heart. And that is the Jewish people. And that things will happen in that land in the end times, and that he will bless those that bless Israel and curse those that curse Israel. It is not cursing Israel to come against a leader and say, you need correction. That's not. I listened to a couple different channels out here the past few days who were talking about when Joe Biden, President Biden, turned his back on Israel. My God, we're all going to hell in a handbasket. Now watch out. The world's really going to blow up. Everything's going to just, the world's on fire because Biden turned his back on Israel. Biden didn't turn his back on Israel. Biden put some controls into it and set checks and balances and said this, no. The Hamas attacked horribly beautiful people from all over the world, gathering to celebrate peace at a beautiful music festival. This is not against Israeli people that I speak. This is against the leadership that is not engaging in the rules of engagement fairly. they're dangerous. They're dangerous now to everyone. They have just spit on the world. When you have a mishap that makes no sense, that kills so many people from all around the world, you have just spit on the world. You have just said, I don't care. We don't need your help. Go away. We'll blow you away. So I am one that does not believe you have to stand with Israel. The day after the October attack, the music festival, and this all started, I said I stand with Israel. I stood in solidarity that they had a right to go after the Hamas. But not this has gone way too far. So I want to talk about that because I have been posting about it, and I know there's a lot of people talking about it. You got to be very careful on YouTube how you discuss it. But it's not enough to say we pray anymore for anyone. It's boots on ground. We have to serve. We have to stand up for what we believe in. And there's just such a weird hocus pocus kind of thinking in some kinds of faiths of Christianity that really just hone in on that one scripture, like, ooh, but Israel. It also says, watch for when people say peace and security with Israel, right? And shake hands, and people are making peace and security. And the person who ushers in the peace. You know how many presidents have like gone over there and peace and security with Palestine, peace and security with Israel, and they think, oh, we're in the end times. People think we're in the end times because of the solar. We're in the end times, but we got a whole lot of tribulation to go through, and no man knows the hour. We know the signs. There are many signs around us. So the number one sign is that I see is that children will turn against their parents, parents will turn against children, family will turn against family, and there'll be random violence and crazy weather, and the increase in technology. The time will be sped up, and it does for me anyways. It seems like time's always going fast. And my dad used to say, seems so weird to say he used to say, but he passed away last February. He used to say all the time, it seems like the time is going fast because you're getting older. Once you get older, it does go fast. And I believe that too. But it does seem like things are sped up. I was looking the other day at how we went through Christmas, and I walked past Dollar Tree, Dollar General, and all these stores to get to work. And it was like, there's never Thanksgiving. It's like all this back to school stuff, Halloween. And then on the same shelf, it starts Halloween right into Christmas. And from there, Valentine's Day is on the same shelf. And from there, St. Patrick's. And from there, Easter. And you could just see it all just already the day after Easter. All the swimming goggles were up, and the 4th of July stuff and the Memorial Day stuff all together. It does seem like things are being condensed and going faster and faster and faster. So I think that's a big sign. And I just wanted to share my thoughts. I love anyone that serves people with food. And I'm a foodie, and I love to serve people and cook for people. And I especially like to cook for people that are in need and food scarce and going through a trauma, a crisis, a loss. And I love that. I love Chef Jose. I love his vision. And I love the people that shared in his vision and just got up and went. And I wished always that I could have been one of those people. When I first went back to work in 2022 for a trial of work from being on disability, and I still am on disability, I shared my kind of dream with my doctor. And I said, I would really love, now that I don't have any family around, I don't have any, my kids aren't here, and I have no family around, and nothing, I'm held to that little fur baby there. If I could go maybe in through the Red Cross or the Peace Corps and just travel and be boots on ground in different places. And I would love to do something like the World Kitchen, right? And my doctor said, well, you got to think reasonably here. You flare up in different, you have a chronic body condition that the elements, conditions, the stress of it, of the conditions, the heat, all of it, wouldn't be the best thing for you. So, and I was explaining how it worked, like, you could go for 2 weeks and then come home. If there was a disaster somewhere, you go and then you come home. You're not like stuck there. And just try to get a little job somewhere for a couple hours here and there, part-time, see how you do. But she knew my heart. I was like, I love to cook and serve people and be with people and cook and serve. So it just broke my heart that happened. And I don't think there is a reasonable excuse, like it just happened. It's a mishap. This happens in war. This doesn't happen in war. It really doesn't. It's been forever since this kind of stuff happened in war. I truly believe in my heart, because they mention the young man that was driving was Palestinian. He was the only Palestinian in the group. He was the only one they could have really seen right away and targeted with a drone, and then said, oh, there's people moving through. That's not the Hamas. Palestinian people are not the Hamas. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. And it's okay to say you're wrong to a leader in Israel and still be a friend of Israel and still be a Christian. Okay, so I hope you'll try this pattern. I gotta block it and finish my border. And moving right on to this one, I think this one's going to be really pretty. And I'll leave the linkage there for you. So I just wanted to talk about that. I just wanted to share a little bit of spiritual and political thoughts that I had today. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.